What's going on, guys? It's Tommy, and I'm coming at you with an action figure review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Medicom toy MAFEX Boba Fett from Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. This is a figure that I was highly encouraged to get as one of my first import 6-inch figures. Now, Mr. Coffee, Wilbon, and Fig Fury from Monday Night Figure Ball were heavily influencing me to get this figure, so I finally got my hands on it, and I think it's about time to review it for the channel. I did pick this up from Big Bad Toy Store. Big Bad Toy Store is my go-to for most of my action figure orders and pre-orders. I highly recommend checking them out. They're an awesome local service here in the United States. This is the standard packaging size for MAFEX figures. You do have the nice big plastic window in the front here showing you the figure and the accessories he comes with. Down on the bottom left you get an image of the figure itself, as well as just the name of the character and then your logos, as well as he is number 16 for the MAFEX line. On the side of the package you do get another little glam shot of the figure with the logos respectively, and then on the back you get a couple more glam shots of the character and again just all the accessories and the details he comes with. And then on this side you have a horizontal shot of the figure and the Star Wars logo. On the bottom you have all your legalese, and on the top you have another Star Wars logo. So without further ado, this is a bit of an older MAFEX figure, but I was still told it's one of the best Boba Fett's to get, so let's get this opened and see if that's true. I also like on the inside flap here they included "May the Force be with you." That's such a cool hidden detail. So you do have underneath the tray with all the figure and the accessories, there are the pieces to build a flight stand. We'll set that off to the side for now so that we can take a closer look at Boba Fett, and you'll just see we have some amazing detail on this figure. I mean, just looking at the weathering for all of the raw Beskar that's exposed from all the different carbon scoring and things like that is just awesome. You've got all the little tiny logos that are painted on here just look amazing. The Mythosaur logo on the left shoulder armor looks awesome. And again, just a light, like almost airbrushing effect on the undersuit just makes this figure really level up in how it looks. I love all the details on all the different strapping here. I mean, just looking at all the different details, especially on this left gauntlet. I've never seen so much color for a figure of this appearance of Boba Fett. Just looking at that just looks amazing. They've really outdone themselves. And having a couple of the newer MAFEX Star Wars figures, I mean, I can see the quality has just always been consistent. This one has the jetpack sculpted onto him, which is cool, and I don't think the rocket is removable either. That's fine. This is Boba Fett from Empire. Boba doesn't do all too much in that movie except stand around and look cool, so I'm more than okay with this figure kind of missing some of the removable parts that new ones have. This belt piece here looks so good. It actually looks like real fabric, and until I touched it, I thought it was. It's just so much painted and sculpted detail on this figure, just around. You definitely should get this one. I mean, just again, the white and red details on the back of the gauntlets just look amazing here. Covering articulation a little bit here, you do have a double ball jointed neck. You can see you can get lots of movement out of that. Some really nice down and not really much up. He can look straight forward. He does have some good tilt there, and obviously it can turn side to side. At the shoulders here, you do have, so the shoulder armor is attached to the main carapace here, and then you actually have some drop down shoulder joints here if you can't tell, and those do have a butterfly joint effect as well. The shoulders can raise up to 90 degrees and they can swivel. They're just hindered by the cape and some of the stuff on the back here. The right arm can swivel just a bit more than the left one can. This guy does have pinless double jointed elbows, and these do come with a bicep swivel as well. And then of course he's got some nice ball and hinge joints down at the wrists, so you can have some really nice articulation in that way too. He's got a nice ball joint at the midsection. You can see you can get some nice range out of that there. And for the hips, he's actually got some drop down ball joint hips, so you've got some nice movement up and down there so they can get out of the way more, and he's got some nice range of motion at the ball joint. He does have a thigh swivel, which is hidden right up near the hip. He's got some pinless double jointed knees, which get you well past that 90-degree mark. I love that the center of the knee is actually covered by the knee armor. That's always appreciated. And then of course he's got a hinge and ball joint down here at the ankle, and then the bottom of the pant leg is also a loose piece, which is going to help with that. And as you can see, that can swivel any which way, and he does have some toe articulation, which does get you about 45 degrees as well. Overall, some really nice articulation. That's to be expected for this kind of a figure. here. And how could I forget, he does have a drop-down rangefinder, which is always cool for a Boba Fett figure. So, most MAFEX figures do come with swappable hands, so this one comes out in the box with just the idle open hands. Replacing the hands is super easy. You could just pop them off, and then you'll replace them with whatever hand you want to, and they pop on and off very, very easily. There's no ball system or anything, so you can give him some fisted hands. He comes with a pair of those, so if you want Boba Fett to, you know, box somebody or fist fight somebody, or maybe you want him in your Street Fighter display, there's your Boba Fett. He's ready to go into battle. And then Boba's also got this nose-picking hand here. I guess it's actually probably a trigger finger hand now that I think about it, but you can also use it for different gestures like pointing, and as I mentioned, like picking his nose and things like that. So some nice hand options. Again, this is early on in MAFEX to my understanding, so, you know, nowadays you get like sometimes 9 and 10 swappable hand sets, but, you know, to get these options back in when this one came out is a great, great feature. Boba does come with a unique blaster pistol. This is done in a brown sculpt with some nice silver paint applications, as well as some black for the trigger. It's got a nice design to it. It does have weapon storage. You can see on his right side, he's got a holster down here. You just slip the blaster in, and then you can actually use the peg on the strap to strap the blaster pistol in there. And that looks really, really good. It's going to fit into the hand very nicely, and you'll see here I was able to get a really nice pose for Boba. The toe articulation makes it a lot easier to distribute the weight on this character, and I do appreciate that. However, I would argue that Boba's much more iconic blaster from the movie is his blaster rifle here. So you can see you do get his blaster rifle. It's got some nice weathering up near the muzzle of the blaster. It's got some really nice paint details here on the stock, and it's got that nice, very thin, malleable strap here. Just be careful with this. I'm sure it might break if you drop it, but it does look really nice. Some insanely great detail coming from this blaster here. I'm assuming you could sling this over Boba's back here, over his shoulder, and it would look good. Yeah, it kind of sits very nicely over the shoulder, but who wants to do that when you can sit this in Boba's hand? So usually with the MAFEX figures, what I do with these bigger rifles is I fit it into the hand first, and then once the hand is attached to the blaster, then you just attach the hand to the rest of the body. I'm interested to see if I can get that signature Boba Fett pose. I don't know if I'll be able to, where he kind of holds it over himself. Oh, you can achieve that pose. This is for me, this is the iconic Boba Fett pose from the original trilogy, where he holds the blaster like this while he's standing around on Cloud City. That's exactly picture perfect right out of the movie. That's perfect. I love that pose right there. You can also get Boba into a really nice stance, just holding the blaster up, aiming down the sights. I love when figures are able to aim down the sights like this. Almost forgot, you know, this is post-recording the whole review. I forgot about the flight stand. So the flight stand comes in 3 pieces. You're gonna just plug in the larger part to the base, and then there's this part here, and then the C-clip opens up, and you can stick your figure in there. Use this to pinch Boba Fett's waist, pretty much. And then once he's securely attached to the flight stand, it's gonna look something like this. And that's pretty cool if you ask me, that you're able to get a flight stand included, and I think it really elevates the value of these figures. But with that being said, if you want a really, really good looking figure for this character and you're a big Boba Fett fan, you should absolutely get this one. This one's super, super cool, and I think it holds up. Even though it's an older MAFEX figure, it holds up to today's standards. So definitely get this figure to add to your collection. With that being said, guys, thanks for checking out the review. If you did and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. Make sure to check out my social media. All my links are in the description below. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll catch you for the next one. May the Force be with you.